What are coaches looking for in a video? What's up, prospects? It's Coach Robby, National Scouting Report. Hey, if you're watching this video, chances are you're in college recruiting right now, or you're about to be, or you're a parent of an athlete that is starting to get into the recruiting process. So naturally, you're starting to look at what exactly am I supposed to put in a video to send to college coaches. And that's what today's video is about. Today, I'm going to go over 10 of the most important yet small things that you should know before you start getting video and before you start sending video to the college coaches. In today's college recruiting landscape, for 99% of sports out there, video is one of the most vital aspects to being recruited. And in particular, for the sake of this video, softball. Softball is heavily reliant on it. I could obviously go on for days about the various aspects of video in relation to its value in college recruiting, but I'm not going to do that. That's not what today is about. Today is merely meant to teach you the 10 things that you need to know when using video in recruiting. This point right here, this is the point where if I could put sirens or alarms, with some kind of creative video editing next to me or right here, or even down here, I would make sure that it did something to grab your attention, to make sure I'm pointing out this one simple statement before I get going into everything else. Video alone is not going to get you recruited. I'll say that one more time for dramatic effect. Video alone is not going to get you recruited. But video is crucial in college softball recruiting for a myriad of reasons, including but not limited to limiting recruiting budgets of most of the college softball coaches, in addition to the fact that the sport itself is underfunded. Coaches needing to verify that a prospect is or at least appears to be what they're looking for before they invest the time and money and effort to go see a kid. Monitoring growth over time, plus evaluating the consistency in the level of competition that the kid is actually competing against. Almost anybody can step outside and let a 3-year-old toss a ball in the air and crank one, but can you do it against legitimate pitching, and vice versa? Being able to watch a particular moment in time over and over as many times as it takes in order to basically figure out, is she what I want? Are the shortcomings of the athlete or what she needs to work on, is that stuff that I am comfortable with as a college coach and my staff saying that we can develop once she gets here? Look, video has always been huge for recruiting as long as video is out there. But over the last 5 to 10 years or so, as technology has gotten better, accountability increases, what coaches are looking for in video in regards to recruiting has evolved year to year. And it'll continue to do so as technology continues to do so. When video started becoming extremely prevalent in college softball recruiting, it was mostly skills videos that players went and shot once a year, if that, and that was that. And of course, over the years, the skills videos companies started popping up left and right. Fast forward a couple of years, and the cost of getting a skills video done began to increase year to year. And as technology got better, video editors got better. That meant the person doing the editing was much better at putting lipstick on a pig. Essentially being able to carve out those best pieces that she had today, and then when edited and then compiled, made a backup player look like a Wendy's All-American. And with the emergence of camera phones and streaming devices, and of course the evolution of video just continues. In today's recruiting world, especially with softball, you'll never get a direct answer from anyone if you ask, what are coaches looking for in a video? Do they want skills footage? Do they want game footage? The truth is, and get ready for it, anything and everything. Getting video in today's recruiting world is not as much about what you're getting as it is about how often you're getting it and how often you're getting it to the coach, obviously. It's also about the variation in the type of footage you're getting. They don't just want to see just this type or just that type or just this setting or just that setting. The consistency and delivery to the coach, in addition, and the ease of access. If it's hard for them to access that video, if it takes more than a couple of seconds to get a file to open or to get a video to load or whatever the case is, you're already gone. You're already in the trash. So it's not just the variation of what you're getting, it's how often you're getting it, how often and consistently you're getting it to the coaches, the variation in the type of footage you're getting, and the consistency in the delivery with the ease of access. Some coaches prefer skills video skill. Some coaches only want game footage. Some coaches want a mixture of it. Some coaches will see your skills footage, then watch your game highlights, and then determine they have a lot of what they need to see, but they still want you to get some type of clips doing this thing from this angle in order to make the final decision. That's just the way that it works. Keeping in mind, video can be such a great thing for the process, but it can be utterly confusing and overcomplicated by most people in the process. The simple truth to it is, video, anything and everything, eliminate the wasted space and time, and let the coaches decide what they do and don't want to see. College softball coaches are human. Therefore, they are all going to have their own likes, dislikes, their own preferences. It's inevitable. Because of that, it would behoove you to have footage of all kinds available in order to satisfy the appetite of each coach. In addition to that, to continually have updated footage of each type of video. Don't just go get a skills video and then go get some game clips and compile them and leave them out there and then expect it to have the same effect 6 months, 9 months, 12 months down the road as it did whenever you first started. Even if you don't have a date on the video, the coaches can obviously tell whenever they look at an upload date. Pretty simple. As you can clearly see, I could go on for days and days about video, but in today's recruiting world or recruiting landscape of college softball and even college baseball recruiting, getting video is easier now more than ever. But most still have trouble knowing what to do with it once they have it. So because of that, that's where these top 10 small yet very important things that you should know came from. Number one, honestly, probably one of the most overlooked. Video horizontally, don't video vertically. And what do I mean by horizontally and vertically? Horizontally, if you're using an iPad or you're using a phone or a tablet or something, and you're just holding your phone up just straight as if you were sitting there sending a text, by doing that, that not only puts everything a little bit farther away, but especially if it ends up going into some type of video editor or something like that, that's where you see the little black outside lines on the outsides of a video. So you see this tall, long video, but then you see 1/3 of the space is this black space and 1/3 of the space is this black space, and the kid is way far away in that middle third. You turn it horizontally, and it's going to capture everything better. And whenever you zoom, in order to eliminate the distance between me sitting at the front of the bleachers and my daughter at the plate, by turning it horizontally and zooming in, I'm eliminating a coach having to go and trying to figure out how exactly can I tell who is who and what is what. Number 2, don't get too close. Look at the video on your phone as you're videoing it instead of sitting there watching the game while you're just holding up a phone. This will allow you to ensure you're not cutting off the head or the legs of the person you're trying to video. Believe it or not, I actually see this not just in games. I see it in lessons where, as you can imagine, between all of the kids that I look at every day as a college scout, or even my own prospects, sending me anywhere from 40 to 60 videos a day, I see this every day. Even at lessons, mom or dad is videoing vertically and they're getting from me to you, which is actually going to end up being too close if you're supposed to be seeing my whole body and watching my mechanics doing something. That's inevitable. So get some distance. Don't get too close. Whenever you're doing it at a game or you're doing it at lessons, don't stare at Sally while you're sitting here just holding up your phone like this and then all of a sudden wonder why the camera was zoomed in on her behind. Doesn't work that way. So instead, what you need to do is look at the camera. Look at your screen. So if I'm holding up my iPhone and I'm videoing Sally, don't be looking at Sally, look at the camera. That way you can see what's in that camera, what's in that space, what is going to be seen. That way I know whether to zoom out, zoom in, whether I need to back up, whether I need to come closer. By looking at the screen, you can make sure, and I'm going to tell you, you send a hitting video where I can't see any part of her body, I'm not going to be able to fully assess her hitting. If you're trying to show me this to here, but I can't see her feet, I can't see her head, and so now whenever it looks like I think that I see something that looks like a small correction, but I can't tell because naturally it's cutting something off. Or here's the best one. Whenever I see a pitcher pitching, but I can't see her legs, I can see here to here, so all I see is an arm and then all of a sudden the ball's gone. In contrast to that, if you're using a GoPro or some other type of camera, don't put the camera any farther away than what you have to. I understand when you're at games and things like that where you have to put it on the backstop, you're pretty limited on what the distance is going to be. And I know, your handy cam may allow you to zoom, but your GoPro and some of your other smart cameras aren't going to allow you to zoom from the video standpoint. It's going to have to be done in post-production when you're doing your editing. But don't put the camera any farther away than what you have to. And when you're done viewing, use some type of video editor to zoom in on the player without losing quality. Most sports cameras give some kind of widescreen view in order to capture everything in the surrounding, without losing their quality. But depending on how far back the backstop is, sometimes it is hard to tell exactly what in the world is going on. And I can tell you, I've got some prospects that have some handy dandy cameras that they really do shoot some fine quality stuff. But when you get them hooked on the fence behind the backstop, I can't read the numbers on her uniform. And that's when she's hitting. Much less see a whole heck of a lot past that. And yeah, that camera was expensive, and that stinks that you paid that money for it. But it ain't getting the job done for what you bought it for. Don't just go video it and go upload it somewhere and send it to a coach. There's a lot of parents and a lot of athletes that they put the GoPro up, they video the games, and they go and they put them on YouTube, and then they send it, here's my game. No zooming so that you can assist the coach with being able to see. No pulling out your individual clips or anything. Don't just upload a game and then turn around and send that to a coach. Look at the video from the coach's eyes and ask yourself, would this video clip allow me to see what I need to see without knowing who is who in order to recruit that kid, in order to recruit you? Okay, so number 3, sound. Does sound count? Yes, absolutely. Coaches will 9 times out of 10, or maybe 9.9 times out of 10, mute the video. Doesn't matter what you got going on, they're gonna mute it if it doesn't auto mute. But if you don't mute out the sound, or you don't put some type of music over it, regardless of what it is, please be aware of the words being said in the background while you're videoing, and definitely refrain from any type of vulgarity. Music without words is typically best. Just make sure if you add music that it's royalty free and it's not something real heavy. You don't want some, super high beat techno. Nothing against techno if you're a techno person, but you don't want something extremely boring either. Somebody just playing a violin while you're sitting there smashing balls. Definitely does not match the tone of the video. Also, some coaches, they want no music at all and would prefer to hear the sounds of the game. Be it you being at lessons and they want to hear the sound of the ball popping the glove when you're pitching, or they want to hear the sound of the ball off the bat, that bing, bing. Some of us are in love with that sound. But regardless, it's up to you to decide what you're the most comfortable with. It depends on how much of a potty mouth you are behind the camera. It depends on how often you talk to other people about and other parents' kids while you're at the game. If you are one that are afraid of what's being caught on that video in the background, obviously you're going to want to mute it out in the editing, or you're going to want to add some music so that it gets rid of it. But if you're not, I would strongly advise keeping the sounds of the game. If you've watched any of the videos that I do for some of my prospects, or the NSR video department does, it all depends on the situation and what's being heard and said in the background. Sometimes if there's absolutely no sound, it ends up being best. But inevitably, that's a call you're going to have to make. Just keep it clean. No dirty music, no dirty mouths. Number 4, keep your eyes on the prize. Meaning, keep the camera on the object, your kid, that you're videoing throughout the video. When Sally hits a home run, don't stop videoing after she makes contact or start jumping up and down, you're screaming. All of a sudden you realize that the entire world is staring at, your lack of pedicures that you haven't been getting. It happens, believe me. If you could see half of them that I see, it would be a highlight reel of entertainment. But if you are videoing, keep your eyes on the prize. If somebody does something substantial, keep it still. Whether you've got a camera on the backstop or not, you can get a little small tripod and put it right there in front of you, and for $10 on Amazon, or even less probably, and you just put your phone on it and you hold it, and that way, no matter what's going on, you're good. Or set your little tripod down in front of you. Point being, keep your eyes on the prize. If you got to run around second and third and Sally smashes one in the right center and she's taking off, I not only want to see that hit, I want to not only see her getting down the line, I want to see how the play progresses. I want to see how she judges when she rounds first and sees the center field getting to the ball over in right center. I want to see her be able to check the situation and making conscious decisions as to whether or not to go. Bottom line being, keep your eyes on the prize. Number 5, identify the person to watch when it's not obvious. I want to be able to identify the person to watch when it's not obvious. If the video shows a kid hitting a double and running the bases, we can all make a safe assumption that the video clip is about the kid hitting and not the pitcher who gave up a double. That's common sense. But if it's a base running clip and you're on second base when a teammate hits that same hit, you're so quick, you round third and you end up making it home, and the clip is meant to show off your speed, you may want the person watching to know that it's the kid running from second base to home, or even title it just base running, which ends up being obvious to us. But if I just see a clip, I don't know exactly who I'm supposed to be watching. If the person on second, yeah, she was fast, but this other kid also made a hit. Bottom line, I need to be able to identify who exactly and what exactly I'm supposed to be looking at. If you're the shortstop and your clip shows a pitch being hit on a frozen rope to the short, and short makes a really good grab and ends up making a really good throw, and you're the shortstop at the moment, you may want to let the person know that's watching the video that you're the shortstop. Number 6, every coach is different, and every position is different when it comes to video. Every coach is different, and therefore will want different things. Some coaches want skills footage, some hate it. Some want game clips, some want training clips. Some want a combination of anything and everything to give an overall picture as to who you are and what you can do. That's why it's important to video anything and everything and be prepared for what exactly the coach may want. Every position and every player is different. You hear the saying, put your best foot forward. If you're not sure what you are supposed to be getting based on your positions or your selling point, send me a direct message, send me a PM. email me. I'll put my email right here below at the bottom of the video, you know, or comment on the video and let me know. I'll tell you what I'm wanting to see is typically the same thing from the coaches when it comes down to based on the position. It's pretty standard. So keep in mind when it comes to video, the best thing is anything and everything, because every coach is different and every position is different. Number 7, angles. Angles matter. Remember, every coach wants something different. So get a couple of different perspective angles. Let's use hitting for an example. Take the tripod behind home plate and use it to show the whole field. Get 5 to 10 clips of that. And then if you're going to go over towards the first base dugout facing a right-handed hitter's belly button, you know, to show the hitter's mechanics from the front, get 5 to 10 of those. From the opposite angle, over at third base dugout, you know, facing the right-handed hitter's back. Pitchers, go behind the pitcher, from beside the pitcher, showing their mechanics and their stride. From behind home plate, showing the command of their pitches and how they break over the plate. As you can see, just between just hitters and just pitchers, angles matter. Yes, there will be a pitching coach that strictly wants it from this angle or strictly wants it from that angle. I've had one of the college pitching coaches tell me they wanted me to stand right behind the catcher but bring the camera down towards the catcher's head. We ended up cheating and putting a GoPro on her head. But you could still see it from a catcher's perspective, and we could still see the break of the ball, and we could still see the placement the catcher, you know, stuck the pitch. So because of this, get a little bit from any angle, every angle, each time, just to be prepared for that when that situation comes. Number 8. I said this a little bit earlier, but it is so important that I feel like it needs reiterating. Video alone will not get you recruited. There is so much more to it, and that's meant for another video. A lot of athletes make the mistake of getting a video, and whether it's a compilation of game clips or getting a skills video done, and they get it put up on YouTube or Vimeo or upload to social media, because of course everybody makes the mistake of thinking that social media is the only thing that can get you recruited. They get it put onto one of those one-off team recruiting websites or even individual websites, and they get a video up and they think that video alone is going to get you recruited, and hoping coaches will just come find it like they're driving around looking for a yard sale. Doesn't work that way. Big mistake. Look at the views. You can see when you have 11 views in 2 years of having that video and you don't know where they came from, chances are 10 of those are from random people accidentally stumbling across your video, and there may, if you're lucky, be one that was looking at it. Video alone is not going to get you recruited. Proactive versus reactive. The video is a piece to the puzzle. It is not the puzzle. Speaking of proactive versus reactive, either later this week or early next week, that'll be the next vlog that I'll do. That is probably one of the largest mistakes that I see in recruiting today, but I'll address that in another vlog. Number 9, how you send video and what you send is so monumental, so key. College and university spam filters are so strict about attachments, and in particular video attachments, because they could be some form of spam. Now, I don't understand all of the hacking and all that, but what I do understand is that by attaching a video to your email, rather than using a link, attaching a video increases the likeliness that you're going to end up in the coach's spam folder, and then he never sees your email anyways. Instead, upload it to Vimeo, upload it to YouTube, upload it to whatever free video service that you have or you use frequently, and send a link. Do not attach videos to an email. In addition, when you do the uploading, title the videos appropriately. If you got video this evening of you doing some hitting and you just upload it as Jane Doe, and then tomorrow you're doing catching lessons and you upload the video as Jane Doe, you know, eventually it's kind of like, I don't know exactly what I'm looking for. If you're, say, a 22 catcher and you're at catching lessons tonight and you got video clips and you upload it as Jane Doe 2020 catcher, catching lessons, and then you happen to have hitting from the day before and you put hitting at the end of it. And so the title of it is Jane Doe 2020 catcher, catching lessons and hitting, January 12th, 2020. As a scout or a college coach, I now know exactly what I'm looking for. Because remember, you may be at that 22 catcher, but you're a big time hitter. And this coach is looking for a 22 big hitter and says, you know, I could use another catcher, but really I have a lot of money to spend for a big time hitter for 22. And then he goes through and looks, and you have a ton of clips, but they're all titled as Jane Doe. He doesn't know which one to watch. But even if you are a catcher, yes, he's going to watch some of your catching clips. He's going to. But he's going to spend the most time looking through your hitting clips because he has a ton of money to find a big time hitting 22, regardless of position. So don't just title them as, you know, Jane Doe 1, Jane Doe 2, Jane Doe 3. You know, Jane Doe catching lessons and hitting, January 12th, 2020. Make sure that it's titled adequately. And the last part of number 9, on how you send and what you send being key, any video older than 6 to 9 months is now irrelevant. It is completely irrelevant. It's starting to get stale. And past that, trying to send me a clip that is 12 months old, that tells me absolutely nothing. You could have gained 75 pounds. You could have lost 75 pounds. You could have gotten a whole lot faster or a whole lot slower. You're not the same player you were 6 months, 9 months, 12 months ago. Whether you're better or whether you're worse, the amount of time since you shot the video is so relevant. And last but not least, number 10, any camera will work. You don't need a special GoPro or some fancy camera. If you have one, great, but it's not necessary. Anything with a camera or any camera will get the job done. If you have a handy cam or you have a sports cam, that is great, phenomenal. If you don't, use your phone, use your tablet. Most mobile devices nowadays have at least 720, if not 1080p or even 4K. Most of them. If you don't and you're in the Zach Morris era, I am sure somebody in your family, whether it is mom, dad, kid, little sister, big brother, one of y'all are going to have a smartphone or a tablet. Believe it or not, out of all of the prospects that I have sending me videos anywhere from 20 to 60 a day, or anywhere from 20 to 60 kids sending me video a day, asking me to look at it and to consider working with them, believe it or not, the families that I have that are getting the best video, the most video, and the most frequently, it ends up being from a phone. I'm not saying that a phone is the golden way or anything, but it's the convenience. It is, you're most often, most people always going to have it. It's always readily available. So don't think for a second that you have to go spend $400 on some GoPro or, you know, $200 on some handy cam, or that you have to spend anything. If you have a phone, you now have a camera. As you can see, guys, I could go on for days and days about video. But the biggest thing that I hope you take away from this, do not overcomplicate things. Hopefully you can take these top 10 things that I just went over and decide what you need to do next. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or shoot me an email. I'm going to put my email right here across the bottom. Shoot me an email if you have any questions about video. Good luck, and I'll catch you guys